They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
chaos,
let that chaos reign with
chaos,
let that chaos reign with
chaos,
let that chaos reign with
must reign.
Operate as a citizen who isn't impaired, then I think that that parent who's providing those resources, should not be have consequence or discipline. But again, if you're neglecting your child in any manner, I think there should be consequences to a parent, no matter what, if there's neglect at the hands of a child. But y'all know how I feel. I feel gentle parenting makes for a child. I think that there are rules and in their structure, and there's a thing called boundaries, and boundaries have been proven to create healthy relationships, not just between people, but for that person within themselves. And if we raise kids with no boundaries and no structure and discipline, they go out into the world and they don't understand that, and they end up being in battles, and they end up actually having a lot of issues with law enforcement. They end up being the child that's disruptive in school and class because they don't understand that the world doesn't revolve around them. There's a big world that they are able to participate in, but they cannot be the center of attention to everything. And so I'll end on saying that what I do agree with is that every child is different, and that every child may not necessarily need the same level of discipline, but every child does need structure and discipline in order for that child to grow up and be an adult who understands that this is the law of the land, this is how life works. And successful people, not just only externally, but internally, what they do carry at the nucleus of who they are is discipline and boundaries.
If gentle parenting creates gentle children, sign me up. I definitely want to create more gentle adults, especially men. Hold on, everybody, especially men.
You are
My
a gentle.
God,
You
are
are
you
a
kidding?
very.
Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. That's what we need in the world is more gentle men who understand.
You're very gentle, and it comes at an angle that doesn't always work for people.
Let's just stop and go back, because I'm wrapping the show and you're interrupting me.
First of all,
this is what we spent a whole meeting on this.
First of all, Touré, first of all, Touré.
Why don't you let me wrap the show? I'm ending the show. What is the point of interrupting me? We're getting out of here. Like, what is the point? What is the point? It says go to host stuff up.
When you're talking to me, lower your fucking voice when you're talking to me, because you're acting very, very gentle, very soft, and very feminine. And this is the problem. Touré, you talk to your wife like that. You don't talk to me like that. I am not your wife. You don't talk to me like that. I'm not your wife, gentle. I'm not your wife, softy. Don't talk to me like that. You talk to your wife like that, not me. Touré, talk to your wife like that. Do not talk to me like that. That is not how you prepare. That is not.
Yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome to a special broadcast here on the Chaos Reign Show. I am Chaos Reign here. I will let that continue to play on, but we have more deeper conversations. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Give this video hype when you get a chance. If you do come across the replay of this, I sure appreciate it. And like always, make sure to leave comments. Now, what y'all witness? This video came out, I think, some called The Truth something, or Tell Truth. What was the YouTube channel? Let me check what the YouTube channel is again, because I don't want to give y'all misconceptions of this video. And as I'm finding it right now, I did have it queued up before, because a lot of people don't tell you where these sources come from. I will tell you the source. I don't gatekeep this. This is from the Truth Talk Live that has not even 40,000 subscribers. And they leaked this almost going on a week ago. This was leaked on a Thursday. For those that don't know. And the ironic thing about it is they said that Touré was not muted through the chat room of the comment section of this. And as we all watch this, and as y'all know, and I'm going to play more of this, and I'm going to move on. But let's listen more of this. Let's listen.
Actually approached me. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Check.
Frank and Ariva, I apologize.
Yes, Touré was muted because he was still talking and there was no volume. So I'm not sure who the hell ran this YouTube channel, this podcast, and told a goddamn lie. And Touré was not muted. He was muted. And we all watched it. Let me continue.
Check yourself. You don't talk to me like that.
And this is the host.
Hold
Talk
on,
to your
Doc.
wife like that.
Doc, hold on.
Or
Shut the
director.
fuck up talking to me like that. That's what you do. That's what you do.
This
You better tap into your gentleness and real quick.
is disturbing. Very disturbing.
Are we ready?
I've been ready. Been ready.
Ariva, Frank, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep. You ready, Touré, to wrap this up?
Yes, as I was doing.
And then we'll speak off camera. Here we go.
We always ask, when should a parent be held responsible for their children's behavior, whether it's at school, tantrum in Walmart, whatever? Let's flip the lens. There's a
Let me pause. I got my good friend Jay Sean. That's what should happen. I agree with you, Jay Sean. She should have been cussed the hell out. And what's good, Jay Sean? And welcome those that will catch this. It's a very impromptu, but you know it's. Let's continue.
difference between the parent mourning a child lost to violence and the one silently praying because their child pulled the trigger. One gets sympathy, the other gets silence, but both carry a pain the world rarely understands. So tonight, the part we never talk about, ask yourself, not as a spectator, but as a parent of a child who took a life, how should society treat that parent? Should the law hold them accountable or let them live with the weight in silence? Would you deserve compassion or a conviction or a bunch of I told you so's? It's a tough one, but that's what we do on Truth Talks. Hit us in the comments and let us know how you feel. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for Bring the Funk family for welcoming the Truth Tellers to the channel. This is our last week on Roland Martin Unfiltered. To continue to see the show and support Black media, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Truth Talk /live, where you can catch us every night at 8 p.m. EST and at 11 p.m. EST. Support Black media at Cash App, Truth Talks Live, or on any of the links on your screen. Get your Truth Talks membership today. Click here on the screen, and you can choose from 3 different exciting tiers. Black media is under attack, and this show is being shadow banned. So support us by telling a friend to tell a friend. Check us out every night at 8 p.m. See you next.
All right, enough of that. I don't know about the shadow ban, brother. I think you're kind of pushing it. I don't see no shadow ban here because that video, and we only got the full broadcast if there is any on this channel, which I think is still on their channel because that was a raw and unfiltered broadcast of that. So now, before I move forward with Toré's expression, if I have time today to do this, I came across a doctor that just got hers this year in psychology. That Miss Cheyenne Bryant said she got some degree in psychology, which I'm not sure which school she said she got it. If you notice, if you go for a background from previous broadcasts that people have been exposing her first degree is dealing with African studies. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Anyhow, so this is what I'm going to do right now. I am going to share screen this because I think it's, let me see if I can find it. This right here, we're going to watch together by the good, lovely Dr. Ebony. And she's going to go into her so-called book from what people say or what she's telling us doing well. Is that true? Is that really true? Well, let's hear this doctor's take on it. Hope you guys could see this. And I really don't share screen this, but I would make an exception to the rule of this. Y'all can see this? All right, let's play this. Let me see if y'all can hear it. Let's go.
Cheyenne Bryant being discussed, and I decided to go ahead and download her book. Now, when I went to Audible, the audiobook was nowhere to be found. So
all right, Y'all guys can hear that? Let me know. I'm going back for. I'm not going to pay attention to the chat room, so let's go.
I decided to go to the Amazon app and it was there and you can purchase it that way, but it wasn't on Audible. So I purchased it that way and then it showed up in Audible. I'm not sure why that red tape was there, but that's what happened. Now, before I get into the review, I want to talk about the fact that over the weekend, I saw a lot of people on social media calling Cheyenne Bryant a narcissist. Now, if you go back through my videos, and especially if you look at my shorts, I have gone through the DSM-5 and I have broken down each criteria.
Now, it's been proven that DSM-5 has been released for some time for those that don't know. Yes, it's out now. I don't know when they released the DSM-5, but it's been out for some time now. So, as a good sign. And the funny thing, I had the DSM-4. And the reason why I bought the DSM-4, and it's a very thick book, if y'all guys know, it's a very thick goddamn book. I bought it because I wanted to know if they remove the pedophilia on the DSM-4. Because that's one of the few things, if you notice with the history of what do you call homosexuality, it was removed in 1968 or between 68 or 73. So now what we know is, I'm not sure DSM-4 removed that now, the pedophilia. If they did, let me know in the chat or in the comment section that got the official book. Let me know, guys. Let's go. Let's play into the lady and let's hear her take on the narcissist and stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, for narcissistic personality down, I have at least 3 videos for each criterion on what narcissistic personality looks like. So let's talk about what the DSM-5 is, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, and it is the 5th edition. Now, clinicians in the mental health space use this tool as a consistent way of diagnosing individuals with certain disorders. Now, in the first class that I took in my doctoral program, this tool was a required book for us to have on hand. I purchased this book off of eBay. It is available on Amazon. Anyone can purchase this book. This is not for diagnosing. Only a licensed clinical mental health professional can do that. But this is for clarity, awareness, and education surrounding narcissistic personality disorder and everything that's been going on online. Anybody can purchase the DSM-5. It can be purchased off of Amazon. I purchased mine off of eBay because let's be honest, this is a recession and I'm trying to save every penny I can. So I purchased mine used off of eBay. But if you'd like to see a list of the 9 diagnostic criteria on NPD, you can simply Google it or you can ask ChatGPT and it can spit it out for you. So since everything that has been going on with Cheyenne Bryant in the media, such as there's no proof of a master's degree, there's no proof of her ever being a licensed LMFT, and there's no proof shown that she holds a doctorate in psychology and counseling. I have been following about 3 or 4 people on YouTube, and I've been watching their videos. Shout out to Jessie Wu, who has been following all of this. She is such an excellent researcher, and I love the way that she provides her commentary. Jessie Wu has called her a narcissist, and she's the first person that, kind of brought that to my attention. Now, over the weekend, I watched.
Jessie Wu is not a credible source chick. For those that's watching this, I don't refer to these so-called higher, more noticeable social media commentaries as credible. Keep that in mind. Keep this in mind. They're not credible people. They're there just for the commentary, the jokes, their takes. Nothing of any intelligence. I don't take them seriously. And it's not because they didn't go to school, but I don't take their commentary overall serious because they use words that are loosely, makes no sense, and they have no fucking understanding what they're saying most of the time. Now, here in the Chaos Rain Show, I have not dedicated a book series like I normally do. I did talk about the busting exposure to condoms lately, and I might go back to that. But overall, I'm going to read you the books. I'm not going to go through he said, she said. I will find the literature, and I will do it on air, live, so you have more clarity. But anyhow, let's continue. Let's listen to the good Dr. Ebony.
Tony Gaskins, what an excellent coach. He has a video up that says, does Cheyenne Bryant have a diagnosis? And towards the end of the video, he calls out narcissism. I would like to educate you guys on some of the DSM criteria on what narcissism looks like. Okay, a grandiose sense of self-importance, a need for admiration and praise, sense of entitlement, arrogant, haughty behaviors, interpersonally exploitative behaviors, and just a few others that I might mention is a preoccupation with success and status, difficulty handling criticism, reactive defensiveness, and image management. Those are just a few. The DSM-5 states that if you identify with 5 of the 9 diagnostic criteria, you just may be a narcissist. Again, only a licensed clinical mental.
5. I got 5 on me. It's the number that will label you or what is considered narcissism. And I'm going to say this for clarity. And if you see the bill, Jay Shine, let me know. I will bring up briefly. I'm not staying here long. I noticed too many Black women use the word narcissist very, very loosely. You're dumb. Stop using it. I have conversations with certain women. No, well, maybe one, but you know. And I told her personally, stop use the word narcissist. I don't use narcissist to people I come across. I suggest you as a woman or a man, but person, woman, stop using that word. Okay, you there? All right, good. Let me know. If you want the link, I'll let you bring the link. It's stupid. Matter of fact, I don't take you seriously. Anytime I hear any woman, a Black bitch, use the word narcissist. Stop it, please. Stop it. All right, let's continue.
Mental health professional can do that. And there still needs to be a thorough evaluation given by a licensed clinician. Now, based on what I learned on NPD in my doctoral program, I did see narcissism show up in her book. So let's move on to the review. And I said that I will be doing a critical analysis.
I'm shocked. My God, I'm shocked. Wow, I did not. You ladies, don't surprise me. You least surprised me on the narcissist date. Well, I'm not surprised, Dr. Sorry, my fault. The Timo Dr. Cheyenne Bryant used the word narcissist too in her book. All right, I'm gonna play, guys. I gotta go through this, man. All right.
This on this book, but I'm not sure how far I'm gonna get with that. But let's go. The book is titled Live Your Promise by Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I'm saying Dr. Cheyenne Bryant because that is what's on the cover. And Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is the narrator of her own book. And let's begin with the introduction. The introduction is titled, You Can't Heal a Lie. You can't heal a lie. I'm going to be focusing my attention this way because I took some notes while I was listening to the audiobook version. I didn't read it. I listened to the audio. The first thing I thought was
Miss Dr. Ebony. Dr. Ebony. I'm going to say this before I continue on with this video. And please, guys, make sure to like this video if you find this very useful or you hate it. Dislike, I don't care. There's a thing I say about audiobooks and physical books. I am the proponent, and it's just me. You need to do more physical reading and less listening reading. And the reason why I say this is because the audio and the physical book are two different things. Sometimes the audio doesn't really go in depth on the average of the whole entire book. You're going to have to read the book. Now they say chaos. What do you mean read? I don't have time to read. I don't have time to do much things either. I'm trying to break myself to even get back to reading, and I've made a conscious effort to read a couple pages in there. There's no excuse. Nothing beats but going through the book. Whether you have a digital PDF of the book or the physical book. If you can get the physical book that's less than, let's say, 500 pages, that will be a good thing. especially real good, reliable. But overall, you don't want to be getting too comfortable or being in the habit of listening to audiobooks, because there's some different from the written word from the listening word. And trust me, the audio is no comparison. Well, actually, it is a comparison between audio and reading. And you get more value if you can sit there and use your eyes and your fingers to read the words and keep focus. Matter of fact, reading books will keep you more focused if you can read a physical book and look at with your eyes and run your fingers through the pages or the digital. But don't fall too comfortable or in love with audio. All right. So that's my suggestion. Let's go.
When she opened up with just the title, I thought, yeah, girl, I know you wish that you could heal a boatload of your own lies right now. That's where my mindset was. And she opens up talking about how she was supposed to be a single mother, but multiple baby daddies, but she beat the odds, and she starts comparing herself to Job in the Bible. And I know Job wanted to come up out the grave and said, no, girl, this ain't me. But all of this is doing is positioning herself for pity of her past and to be the hero in her own story. Then she starts bragging about her $1 million home on her huge estate and the gates open to this Eden-like place, and how she has a house for her mother and her brother and all these grandiose things. Remember Tony Gaskin saying over the weekend, Cheyenne is either doing all of this to show them, what she has done and what she can do, or you doing it to stun on them. And then she begins the name drop.
Then she proceeds to talk about how she sat down with Lala and Carmelo Anthony and how she coached them. And the golden rule in coaching, therapy, whatever, is you do not tell who you coached and what you coached them on. And she specifically said that they were having problems in their marriage and she helped.
Oh. And why we're not surprised? Because one time she leaked on an interview, and this was a recording interview, or I'm not sure what it was again. I don't know if it was in Joe Button or one of them podcasts, guys. How she leaked a screenshot of Offset asking for help. These celebrities are thank you. That is foul. She violated the HIPAA law. There you go. And she put it in the fucking. Oh my God. Bro, but Jay Shine, she is not no real doctor. This bro, she not no real doctor. Oh my. Yeah, I wish I could tag this to the most content creators to do content. This is the content we should did. That is a law. Yep, there you go. That is definitely a lawsuit pending. Does Lala know about this? Does Carmen Anthony know about this? You're coaching. You're telling the business. Oh my God. Let's continue.
Help them work through it.
And oh my God, I pray that you have their consent before you did this name dropping.
There is no
and
consent.
Then she further goes on to set the tone to say that if you are reading this book, I know that you are going through your wilderness. If you are not a strong-minded person who knows how to think independently, the mind will go to something that's going on in your life and trigger that to feel that something is actually wrong with you. Now I'd like to bring out another source. I read this book by my favorite psychologist. It's titled It's Not You by Dr. Romney. It's not you. What Dr. Romney talks about in this book is how narcissists like to make their victims believe that something is wrong with them. Now, as a life coach, if I were to write a book, I would not say something like that because I don't want to project something like that onto someone to make someone feel like something is wrong with them for the sake of selling a book. Now, for the sake of naming chapter 1, You Can't Heal a Lie, Cheyenne, you do know who the Lord is. And I feel like conviction is knocking on your door, but you just won't let it in and sit down with it. Now, individuals with NPD, they sit down with others and they harvest energy from others to make themselves feel regulated.
What?
Before I continue on, and for those that's watching, thank you. I appreciate it. If you hit the like button, I would appreciate more. I'm looking through back and forth through the chat room and what's going on. As this is a very impromptu special broadcast. There might be another broadcast later. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to catch that very soon. But let me see who write in the chat room. Okay. Pookie Ray writes, "We are courtside and ringside watching the total dismantling of a fight." Okay. And you're here for the crash out. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's listen more to the audio piece.
One thing that I loved is that she said that she gets her clients to think about their thoughts and reframe them into positive thoughts. And that's essentially cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, but helping someone examine their thoughts and reframe unhelpful thinking patterns into more balanced or constructive thoughts is a core technique associated with cognitive behavioral therapy, significantly calling it cognitive reconstruction or cognitive reframing. Many coaches, educators, mentors, pastors, wellness professionals use this technique as mindset work, reframing exercises, reflective questioning, limiting belief exploration, and thought awareness techniques with coaching settings.
Here's something that tickled me. In the book, Cheyenne Bryant says that she steps out of her luxury vehicle and she walks around and she pops the trunk as she steps in her Jimmy Choo shoes and she pulls out her Louis Vuitton purse and she sits down and she puts on her Yves Saint Laurent lipstick. Now, why in the world does something like that need to be in a book that you talk about living your promise and helping people as a life coach to reach their goal, but you still talking about healing them, walking them through the steps of healing? But anyway.
Oh my, because this. Because, my good Dr. Ebony, you are dealing with a 304. Yes. A scamming Timu doctor that takes $5,000 to $10,000 per section from what I'm hearing. And she walks out in style fashion with the luxury boots, the luxury bags, and flaunting it to everybody because she's showing to all the women that have put in the work and really got their doctorates and did their dissertations, saying, what you're doing, hoes, is you doing backwards. I'm a pretty chick. I'm an old bitch. Let's be clear. And I'm getting that money and I'm telling the business. And what? And I don't got no extra doctor. That's what she's telling the world and telling all black women that did the work that you're doing it wrong. This is an insult. This is a slap to the face to all black women that actually said and actually did the work to become highly educated. Oh, yes, she is at 3 or 4. Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is. Yes. Let's continue. And she put that in the book, the flaunts on these chicks.
And again, what I learned about narcissism is they love to talk about their name brand things and all of their accomplishments and their grandiosity. By chapter 1, Cheyenne says that she sat down with Ayanna Van Zant and and their grandiosity is they love to talk about their name brand things and all of their accomplishments, and about narcissism is they love to talk about their name brand things and all of their accomplishments and their grandiosity. By chapter 1.
See that? That's narcissist number 1. That's one.
Cheyenne says that she sat down with Ayanna Van Zant and she talked to Ayanna Van Zant about her trauma. And Yolanda told her, you are not being honest. You are not being honest about your trauma. Let's stop there, beloved. Ayanna Van Zant is not a licensed clinician. Ayanna Van Zant holds a Juris Doctorate in law. Yes. Ayanna professes to be a life coach. And a life coach cannot unpack trauma. A life coach cannot guide you through trauma. Now, I am a life coach with a certification in trauma-informed care. And what that certification does is inform you on what trauma is.
Look at that. Look at that. Can we give respect to the real women now coming out? And I'm going to say this. This is going to be unfavored, but I have to say it. Now I noticed a lot of gentlemen on YouTube said the only reason why this is getting exposure is because Cheyenne Bryant did some stupid little interview. Thomas said that for her so-called consultations, right? She find that it was easier to deal with men than women, and they said that was the donkey that broke the back. I don't know if that's the right word to say it. I get mixed up. I apologize. I would disagree. I would say that most of the doctors now that's going back and looking at all her interviews that have gone viral, let's keep it real, they're now starting to see two together and say, this woman is not really what she says she is. So I don't agree or believe or know that because she made that statement that men are better than women and that women need healing and stuff, I don't think that really did it. There was more elements come to play that the actual doctors came in and really started to speak out. Okay, and the Pookie and Ray show says this. I thought the accolades came with the works, but the turn out through with Dr. Let's call her Timu Doctor for short. Pookie. Dr. Shine puts the accolades above the work. I'm just loving the crash. I'm loving it too. All right, let's continue.
I said in my last video that I felt like Cheyenne Bryant was this hurt little girl and that she still has childhood wounds. And she said that Iyanla Vanzant told her exactly that. She said that she suffers from childhood neglect, and narcissism is parented into the child at a very young age. It can even happen from neglect from the parent, or if the parent overpraises the child, according to the DSM-5. And that Iyanla helped her process that trauma.
Moving on, Cheyenne goes on to talk about the law of attraction and manifesting things as you heal. Now, in Dr. Romney's book, Dr. Romney speaks about how individuals with NPD, a lot of them turn to New Age and start talking about law of attraction and manifesting things, particularly because some of the things that they believe don't always align with God. So they have to find something that will make what they feel valid. And it's typically New Age teachings. Cheyenne goes on to talk about how she sat down with B. Simone and she talks about a session with her. Again, name dropping. Cheyenne goes on to say, and I quote, "I am here to facilitate healing and growth. As a life coach, you cannot facilitate healing. Only a licensed clinician can do that."
Let me write that again.
Only a licensed on to say, and I quote, "I am here to facilitate healing and growth. As a life coach, you cannot facilitate healing. Only a licensed clinician can do that." On to say, and I quote, "I am here to facilitate healing and growth. As a life coach, you cannot facilitate healing. Only a licensed clinician can do that." On to say, and I quote, "I am here to facilitate healing and growth. As a life coach, you cannot facilitate healing. Only a licensed clinician can do that."
Did you get that? It's not only unethical what she's doing, it's already been proven she's very unethical because she's one of them Timu doctors. Fake ones, really. It's something you go buy off the racks and you buy offline, for a price. She's not supposed to be doing none of this because she's not hold to any standard or accountability because she don't got no goddamn license. And that's what license does, because it holds you to a standard and accountability. And she said from Joe Button, and Joe Button agrees because it says smart. Because now you get the money under the table. You're still able to do what you do, but you don't have to be scrutinized or accountable. And maybe if you're lucky, you might not be able to get sued if that's the way how things being played, from what I'm noticing. And I could be wrong, you still can get sued because usually anytime you're not really in the right practice and you kind of give off or you're misrepresent yourself as not an actual licensed profession is a problem. So kudos to Dr. Ebony for that. This video is about to be soon done, so let's wrap this up.
And at this point, guys, I'm sorry, but I couldn't further listen to Cheyenne's audiobook. I put it down, and I have requested my credit back for this book.
Well done. Well done. And love women. And let me tell you something. She's not gonna really keep it real honest with you. That people that went and bought the book and got their monies back. Remember, the best thing for a lot of people out here that even got a social media presence is to sell books. And you see, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's latest book, she's hoping to make a good, quick meal here and there, maybe. But from what I'm hearing from sources, that's not what's going on. Just saying. All right, let's let the lady finish up.
Also, I would like to say that if I were coaching someone at this point and I were to observe these many narcissistic traits, I would end the session and I would refer them out to a licensed clinician, preferably Dr. Romney, because at this point, the scope is too much for a life coach here. I don't feel Cheyenne Bryant would stop here. Cheyenne Bryant would keep it going while not knowing the full therapeutic process of how to cradle this. And I also would like to say that during my doctoral program, I took a course called Advanced Life Coaching. And this is the book that we used, Becoming a Professional Life Coach. And it taught us how to become an effective life coach. And what I learned from this course is how to stay within the limitations of coaching. And
Look at that. Look at that. She dropping the receipt. Listen, let me stop right here. Let me stop right here. I gotta stop right here. Let me tell y'all something. If you're a content creator or a social media creator does not show you physical books of their profession and say this, you need to get this, you must study this and that, especially when we're talking about, and listen to me and listen, especially talking about healing people psychologically, spiritually, and God forsaken the mental. If I don't see the books you reference, 9/10 of the time, you're a scammer. You're not a real doctor. Especially if you show the graduation pictures and stuff. I want to see the goddamn work. This is what Kevin Samuels been telling Black folks for 4 or God knows 9 goddamn years since he's been active on YouTube before he transitioned back May 5th, 2022. Show your motherfucking work. Facts. I have not seen not one work from this bitch. All I see is word salad. Yes, I'm in hearing bullshit. When people listen to it and they listen to it and they say, what bullshit? Get this up my. This is what they're talking about. I got a comment. She graduated from the top of her class from the illustration at Acme University. She was class queen and Professor Wally Coyote was her mentor. Yes. Indeed, Wally Coyote is her mentor. I definitely agree with you, my brother. Let's finish this up. Let's finish this up, guys. I'm liking this. I'm loving this.
not wade into the waters of a therapist. That's where I turned the audiobook off. I also want to say that I was cuddled up on the couch this weekend with my honey, and he loves to watch Paul Pierce on that After Dark podcast. And I heard Paul Pierce say that, you know, he's extending Cheyenne Bryant grace and she ain't doing nothing wrong and she's helping these people. No, Paul Pierce, what she's doing is illegal. Paul, you lost some cool points with me there now. And Paul Pierce was the first one to call her out on her BS.
Because you know what? Because let me tell. Black woman, listen to me good and listen to me well. Let me do this again. I have this again. Listen, no, listen to me and listen well. Cheyenne Bryant paid her way to the game. The game can never be sold. You have to spend money. Or better, make sure you use your mouth or use your box, your pussy, to get far in this life. Not into the next life, but the life you living right now. Do you think and believe that these niggas, and I'm sorry, I have to use this word, but I gotta be honest, because I see too many male podcasts she entertains, and for good reason why she does this. Cause one, either you have to spend some money, or you have to get on your back. I'm not talking about the good looks. We're gonna go there. We're going there. No, listen. I'm Chaos Rain. In the world where we live in a world in a state of chaos. And what I mean by chaos, where there's crime, corruption, greed, theft, rape, violence, and all forms of atrocity that plagues the world we live in today. What you're witnessing and what you're seeing today, we are in a state of chaos. And I'm here to restore the order in which the world you live in today. Yes, yes, yes. You're seeing chaos unfold right in front of your goddamn eyes. These men entertain this Timo chick because she is that person that they already got access to physically, or the possibility of getting access to. If you hear some dumb dude, a black man that she entertained on a podcast saying that they vouch for her, you already know this man is very much not only compromised, but he's a simp. Or he already got the box already. Either or, that's why he's there. So black women or men, if you are astonished to hear any dumb dude vouch for this Timo woman, is one or the other, or all the above. Yeah, Paul does. He probably got the box. Let's be very honest. All right, let's continue.
But now he's extending her grace. So from what I've witnessed, because Cheyenne Bryant has not shown proof of a master's, a doctorate, or a licensure, because if she did, she would know that these wolf tickets that she's trying to sell out here is not coaching. She is a great motivational speaker, but she does not hold a doctoral. And at this point, you making life coaching look bad. And while I'm educating on narcissism, it is very hard for someone with NPD to hold accountability. Accountability feels very, very uncomfortable for them, to the point that it causes narcissistic injury, to the point where they will go in a dark room and shut down, and they can't be around people for quite some time. I seen her this weekend dancing around with her book, and it looks like she's on some type of platform and she's dancing around with my book. And I saw on her Instagram that she said that same day that it came out that she's already on the #1 bestsellers list.
Ain't that something? And the book just came out. How you a #1 bestseller and just came out? That's what I want to know how that works, Sway. How does that work, Sway? How does that work? Can somebody answer this question? Just saying.
So this is my brief attempt at a critical analysis on how narcissism shows up in Cheyenne Bryant's book, Live Your Promise, based on the framework of the DSM-5 on narcissistic personality disorder. I recommend Regent University to you, Cheyenne Bryant, because they have a whole program on the doctoral level for life coaching. You have life coaching and advanced life coaching, and you have a practicum there with hours that you have to complete as a coach. And this will be such a good opportunity for you. And Regent University is a Christian college, and you talk about the Lord, Cheyenne, but a lot of the stuff that you're doing right now, it ain't God.
My wonderful Dr. Ebony, my dear doctor. These women go back to the Lord after they go for their whole phase. I solely believe to a lot of gentlemen that have been talking about this, including Jap, and many others mention this. They're right. They only go seek God. And mind, she got an honorary doctorate degree, allegedly, Dr. Bryant. Can you see it all over her social media now? That came out maybe a few years ago, right? Which way I don't respect honorary doctor degrees. You work hard, you do the work to get an actual doctor. Not, and there are many celebrities that got honorary doctor degrees, mind you, but they're not really doctrines because they didn't do the work. They didn't write the paperwork. They didn't write the book, dissertation, all that stuff. They don't have nothing tangible to show that they actually do the full work. They just give a degree like it's nothing. I don't accept that. But coming back, Dr. Bryant, or we like to call Timu Cheyenne Bryant, is not really a doctor. And mind you, she, like many women that gone through their 3 or 4 phase, what we like to refer, or they call it the whole phase. They go seek God and hoping that God will drop a man on their lap, on their box. Boom. And we all know God looked down them and say, I can't save these people. I just won't. And they will not. So obviously, you know, when they talk about they're seeking God, you always ask, which God are you seeking again, baby? Because mostly they have different versions of the gods. And there is a whole God, for those that don't know. Y'all can look it up. Maybe I'm lying. Maybe it doesn't exist. But I think there is a God for horrors. I think the church catered to their bullshit. And it's comfortable for a lot of women, in my opinion. Anyhow. Yeah, she needs to. All right, let's continue.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm trying to build my community here. So please.
Yes, and your community is going to build very beautiful, Dr. Ebony. Wonderful breakdown. I appreciate this. This was like 7 days ago. This is almost a week ago, since Tuesday. So thank you, Dr. Ebony, for this. I appreciate it. For those that don't know, you can find the Good Doctor. I posted where you can see. Now, last thing I'm gonna play is maybe Touré. Not this, I'm gonna call us a day.
Master the art of being a doctor on television.
I worked with Cheyenne Bryant on a TV show for about 6 months last year.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
And we got into a massive intellectual argument that came up through multiple episodes of the show. And that told me a lot. Basically, I totally saw this coming.
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV.
The first time I talked with her, she told me she had 3 degrees. And I said, what schools did she go to? A lot of people are saying stuff like that. What school did she go to? Did she actually finish a doctorate? Did she actually write a dissertation? All of these simple questions were answered in a convoluted way during a press tour from hell that is damaging her image, one bad answer after another. This is probably the worst press tour of all time.
I played a doctor on television.
The problem with playing a doctor on TV and acting like that means you're a real doctor is that people think you're giving them help from a place of deep education, and you're not. Maybe you can actually be helpful for real for some people some of the time, But there's lots of therapists who've gone through the academy, the whole academy, and can easily prove that, who are deeply, deeply trained on how to help people who are in complicated situations.
I'm not a real doctor, but I play one on TV. But I can probably be a little helpful. You're dealing with something.
And they are licensed so that the world can know you can trust this person.
I'm surprised by this Cheyenne Bryant controversy because I never thought she had a PhD. Like, never. Something about her always gave honorary doctorate at best.
So when the press tour from hell took her to the mighty Joe Budden podcast, the trouble started. She explained that she was not licensed as a therapist anymore, and she did this in a very haughty tone, as though we were the dummies and she had to educate us. She made it sound like we had not been actively listening, and that was the problem. It was so condescending. She made it seem like being licensed had been holding her back somehow, and being unlicensed had freed her to be the best life coach and psychology expert possible. I don't know what a psychology expert is. That led to a wild storm online. Practically all of the Black licensed therapists on TikTok jumped up to explain that she's talking nonsense. You need licensure.
Hello, my name is Dr. Raquel Martin. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, professor of sciences, and podcast host who specializes in Black health and well-being. And I want to break down a clip from the Joe Budden podcast featuring someone who presents herself as Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
A license is really only needed so you can bill insurance.
That is incredibly misleading. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not why licensure exists. Licensure protects you. It means I have completed specific education and supervised clinical hours, passed rigorous exams, and I'm accountable to a regulatory board.
So after the Joe Budden podcast, the press tour from hell took Cheyenne to the Breakfast Club, where she made it worse. They asked her basically, hey girl, where's your dissertation? She went into a long, roundabout, convoluted non-planation of why she can't get her transcript that sounded a lot like a digital version of The Dog Ate My Homework.
The conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online.
It's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying.
Sorry about that, guys. Make sure you guys like the stream and share the stream. One thing I do want to keep in mind, because Touré got cussed out. I'm not sure when that broadcast really happened. I'm gonna have to go double check when they did this broadcast. He said this was like months ago of last year, and that whole podcast now released it for whatever reason. I think they released it because of the backlash, and they're doing it so to protect themselves. But I think they're at fault because you had this woman on your podcast interviewing for months now, and you know she's not a real, actual professional doctor in her field, which really shows the credibility of the podcast and a lot of these podcasts. Let's go.
To a law school many years ago to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you? Or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money, and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time, and I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in
They
general.
are going to kill you online this week. They're going to say she has no records.
It's not even that there's no records, that I don't. The school had a third party that carried the records only for a limit of 2 years. So it's not me, it's any student that attended Argosy.
Other people have pointed out that you can still get a transcript from her college that closed right now today.
I asked Google to get your records from the closed Argosy University. You should order transcripts and diplomas online through Parchment, right? So now Parchment is the third-party company that she's speaking on. How long does Parchment hold on to transcripts from Argosy University? Parchment generally maintains access to digital records for closed institutions like Argosy University, often holding them for decades or indefinitely.
Today, May the 13th, 2026, I went ahead and I paid to see if I could get my transcript and how long it would take. I received a receipt. Then it says access transcripts.
He got access to his transcripts within minutes.
Many people have pointed that out.
As someone that holds the degree from the university that Miss Bryant reports herself to have, I have several questions and several points of clarification that will be made. The first is that the degree that she is speaking to is a Doctor of Education in Counseling Psychology from Argosy University. Parchment now holds all of the documentation from every student that attended that university. So she has access to her transcripts indefinitely. When you obtain a doctorate, people like to verify your credentials and verify that you obtained that degree. Moreover, you had to have completed a dissertation. I know because I did it for that degree. There are things that you should know off the top of your head, like what the title of your dissertation is. Mine is the Alabama K-CREP and non-K-CREP Counselor Education Graduate Students Readiness to Counsel Substance Use Disorder Clients. What is yours? Who's your dissertation chair? Mine was Dr. David Arena. I had one reader. You should have access to your dissertation, even if you don't have the full one, which is odd because they send you that too. You should have each chapter broken down because you send it in chapters. So where is it?
Remember, this is Touré going in and showing all these women as pushing back. Wait, I'm saying something here. Let me check if that comment went through Google. Okay, it went through. I'll read it. How do they know she complete the program if there are no records? She's a walking condition and a borderline mental illness with these lies. Indeed. All right, let's continue. Oh, and as you know, as I'm winding down, please, guys, leave your thoughts and opinion in the comment section below this video. I don't get rarely comments on most of my videos, person. Some I hit and miss, some not. But those that do come, I do appreciate it. And those that maybe are concerned, please do, man. This all helps the growth and progression of the Chaos Reign Show. And, you know, as always, we're in the vertical stage of this podcast. But, you know, still content at the end of the day. If you got it on your phone, you can watch it better. Let's go.
So where is it? And why are you unwilling to provide that information? Your clients deserve verification of your credentials. It is a part of our ethical compass and codes to do so. Not just with licensure, with any credentials that you use. The ACA 2014 ethical codes and standards require that any credential that you use needs to be backed up and verified and verifiable. to all related boards, and most especially to the client seeking your services. So the fact that you aren't willing to do that is problematic. It's disrespectful to the profession. It's disrespectful to your purported colleagues, and most detrimentally to your clients. Please stop using them until you are willing to verify. Thank you.
So she's lying about being unable to get her transcripts. Within the long, winding story about being unable to get her transcripts, she said she had done it to apply to work at a law school. But she's never even claimed to have a law degree, so how are you going to teach at a law school with no law? But the question was not about transcripts, a record of the classes she took. It was about her dissertation, the big paper you write at the end that is the culmination of your academic career. If she had done a dissertation, she would be able to pull it up out of her computer, or it would be online already. It's not believable that you wrote a dissertation and now have no copies of it anywhere in the world and no way to access it. If you can't show it, if you can't prove you have a doctorate, if you can't provide any evidence, then maybe you should stop saying you have it.
Cheyenne Bryant went through all them loops and hoops to not clear up shit, so let me actually clear up what she was trying to say. What she was trying to say is, I don't have a doctorate degree. There is no dissertation. There is no documentation. I cannot show you a doctorate degree. But I am a master's level clinician without licensure. That's what she said. She went on there and said, people just want to hate me. People online just want to hate me. Nobody hates this woman. But we as a community have a right to shift the narrative away from this grifting, online, social media bullshit and put our community back in the hands of professionals with years of education and years of applicable experience to the thing that they are calling themselves an expert in. And while she does have some knowledge, she does have some education, she does not have the credentials to talk as fucking heavy as she do and or to be providing anybody with any life assistance.
You've mastered the art of being a doctor on television.
How can you even imagine someone who did all that work and has no receipts? And when someone asks you for receipts, you refuse to? This was the thrust of her next interview on the press tour from hell, because Marissa Mitchell in DC did not come to play.
Why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees, and my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles, it's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live. For the most part, my sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr.
And mind you, she said these are sessions she was conducting, for those that don't know.
Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself, they deemed it as my work being effective. I am effective at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane, and I'll land on this, I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people see that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that in that
as an
space.
attack, but I think, and I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth that doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah,
right.
because I earned it. Absolutely.
The real answer to the question, why doesn't she just back down? Why doesn't she say she's not really a doctor? The real answer is this. Cheyenne is all about doubling down. It's central to her personality. She told me she never backs down. She always doubles down. And Stephen A. Smith was one of her broadcasting idols. From him, she learned never backtrack, only double down, no matter what. It sounds tough, but what it means is you have an opinion, you got information that contradicted your opinion or part of it, information that should make you rethink your opinion or part of it, but you refuse to change your opinion. And you're actually increasing your investment in it in spite of the countervailing information. When Stephen A does it in a sports context, it's like, I picked the Lakers to win this series, but they're down 0-2, but I'm doubling down. I still believe. When a family and marriage therapist or a psychology expert, whatever that means, says they're doubling down, it means they're rejecting new information, new research, new knowledge. So when you say, it looks like you're not a doctor, she says, I'm doubling down on the fact that I am a doctor. An actual doctor would respond to the question with evidence. The Academy teaches you to be evidence-based and to look for and present evidence. That would be the way to address the question. But she's saying, no, I don't need to give you evidence because
My proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals.
And that sounds shady. Who refuses to give evidence?
No, my good Touré, it's not shady. She just dropping legit facts. She don't, and she can't show you receipts because she has no receipts. And majority of people that defend her, because, and most of them defend her, let's be honest, are mostly males. I rarely see very few women, maybe on social media they'll defend her, but over they're not gonna do it. Because for the males, or for the men, sorry, they do it for the possibility of sex. Or no free attention by Roger Curry. Let that sink in. And let's be honest, most of these men already got access to her anyway. So I'm thinking about, she's not married, she had no kids. And I married from one source that said if a woman makes a certain amount of money, like Cheyenne Bryant, why she really want to get married? She'll pay for the dick, which she normally will, or pay for the coochie. Anyhow, let's continue.
People who think giving the evidence would be worse than being attacked for not giving the evidence. It's kind of like Trump with the Epstein files. What he's dealing with now, the verbal attacks because he won't release the files, the unending questions, all of that is better than actually releasing the real files and letting people discover what he really did. For him, appearing to be caught in a lie is better than us knowing the truth. That's where Cheyenne is. Appearing to be lying about something like this is better than being unmasked as not a doctor at all.
She has only financial aid documents showing she paid for a doctoral program. And if you listen carefully, the word doctoral in this conversation becomes a sticking point because she can't even pronounce the word. She pronounces it doctorial.
I paid for a doctoral program.
One would say that if you can't even pronounce the word, who is going to believe that you actually have completed a doctoral program? What she wants you to believe is that she's a victim of a corrupt institution. Conveniently, not someone who made up whole cloth that she has a degree that she hasn't completed.
I paid for a doctoral program.
Let me tell you my Cheyenne story. For several months last year, we did a 4-person talk show where she and I were the lead voices. I tried to get clips of it, but the third party that holds the records only holds on to old videos for 2 years. So on the show, we kept coming back to the same intellectual argument. All of this was on the show, on the air. I'm not talking about anything behind the scenes. For me, at the core of this intellectual argument was what y'all have been saying through this press tour from hell. Is she really an academic? Is she really a doctor? See, I'm a parent of 2 teenagers, and I believe, because I have read and researched a lot on the subject, I believe parents should not hit children as punishment. There should be no corporal punishment.
All right, guys, that is it for me. I truly appreciate y'all coming on watching today's stream. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Hype this video up. I'm be looking forward to y'all reading if any comments are left onto the stream. And please, guys, go back to replay of this. I hope a lot of content creators catch this and catch part from Dr. Ebony. She says some real insightful things that they should really do some content. Anyhow, thank you for watching. Until next time, the chaos reigns.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
chaos.
let that chaos reign with
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with
Must reign.